Understanding the importance of the session, which was attended by the elite, and recognizing the unusual interest of Saul, who at that moment was the most vibrant expression of youth in Judaism, the Sanhedrin requested the assistance of the Roman authorities to maintain absolute order. The provincial court did not hesitate to take action. The patricians residing in Jerusalem attended in large numbers, considering this the first major trial concerning the ideas taught by the Nazarene prophet since his crucifixion, an event that had left much perplexity and doubt in the public mind. When the large hall overflowed with people of high social standing, Stephen was led to his designated place by a minister of the temple. He remained there under the guard of soldiers who stared at him with irony. The session began with all the required regimental ceremonies. Upon opening the proceedings, the high priest announced the selection of Saul, at his own request, to question the accused and ascertain the extent of his guilt in debasing the sacred principles of the race. Upon receiving the invitation to act as prosecutor in the case, the young man from Tarsus displayed a triumphant smile. With an imperious gesture, he ordered the humble preacher of the way to approach the center of the sumptuous room. Stephen obeyed calmly, accompanied by 2 guards with furrowed brows. The young man from Corinth gazed at the scene, considering the contrast between the 2 assemblies. He recalled the last meeting of his humble church, where he had been compelled to face such a capricious antagonist. Were these not the lost sheep of the house of Israel to which Jesus alluded in his vigorous teachings? Even if Judaism had not accepted the mission of the gospel, how could its leaders reconcile the sacred observations of the prophets and their elevated examples of virtue with avarice and debauchery? Moses himself had been a slave and, out of dedication to his people, had suffered countless hardships every day of his life consecrated to the Almighty. Job had endured nameless miseries and borne witness to faith amidst the most bitter sufferings. Jeremiah had wept, misunderstood. Amos had tasted the bitterness of ingratitude. How could the Israelites reconcile their selfishness with the loving wisdom of David's Psalms? It was strange that, while so zealous for the law, they gave themselves over completely to petty interests even as Jerusalem was full of abandoned families who were their own kin. As a collaborator in a modest community, Stephen knew intimately the needs and sufferings of the people. With these reflections, he felt the Master of Nazareth rising even higher in his estimation, for having distributed the purest hopes and most consoling spiritual truths among the afflicted. He had not yet recovered from the surprise of examining the shining robes and gold ornaments that filled the room when Saul's voice, clear and vibrant, called him back to the reality of the situation.